Who but the form following the function of what? And what I am is a man in a mask. That's one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies called V is for Vendetta. And it's essentially saying that who one is based on the sum of what they are. Physical traits, personal beliefs, actions. And this holds true for several of the names we're all given throughout life. Nicknames, pet names, family names, different names for different roles and different relationships, job titles, degrees of education. But of all the names I have, my favorite is definitely my legal name because it was given to me with the intention of deviating from all of that. It was given to me with no regard for the what or the who, because there was no who until I was born. And it deviates from the what because my parents intended to hide my culture and ethnicity from paper, so that nobody could tell what I was or what I was like. No hint, no assumption whatsoever until I was actually met in person. So far, this has worked out quite well, honestly. But it works out too well sometimes. For instance, I'm often perceived to be female until they meet me. They hear the name Kaylin, think it's female. And it's an unusual name. It's not one in people's memories. It's not a name that's very often heard of. And it's also significantly more random than my parents ever intended. More so than I honestly have time to get into, but I will try my best. My first name, Kaylin, was given to my mother for the same intention while she was pregnant. But she gave home birth, all natural. And while she was very, very sure, trusted and believed she was having a boy, she was wrong and she had my older sister instead. So my name could have gone to someone else. When I was born a year and a half later, the name was given to me. My middle name, just as random, because she couldn't actually come up with a middle name that she liked. So she did what she did for my older sister and just plucked a name from one of our grandparents. My last name, significantly more complex and much more difficult to track. Obviously from my father's side, but while I can track my grandmother's side all the way back to the white woman who was disinherited by her entire family for running off with a free man, my grandfather's side is significantly more difficult. But that really only helps to add randomness to it. Because my grandfather went for a pack of cigarettes about 47 years ago, and he's presumed dead. Shortly after that, my grandmother married 2 more times. Shortly after that, she passed away while my father was still a child, after which she was then illegally adopted. That's at least 4 opportunities right there for my last name to have been something entirely different. An argument can be made for symbolism maybe, but not in my case because my parents had no idea what these names meant when they gave them to me. As far as I'm aware, I'm the first one to actually Google any of the components of my legal name. And they have surprising origins. The name Kaylin, of Slavic origin, means fairness or slender warrior. Slender warrior, obviously a coincidence. The name Don, I can most only find English origins, meaning chief or mafia boss. Again, it was plucked at random. This wasn't intentional. Last name Pettis, surprisingly of Middle Eastern origin, meaning hollow or pit. I'm not sure what kind of name that could make on purpose, but I'm not one to judge. I know that name wasn't given to me for the intention. I don't know why. I don't know where Pettis came from. Well, I know where Pettis came from, and I'm sure I wasn't the idea of what a Pettis was supposed to be, dark-skinned and all. But I digress. Point is, my legal name deviates from the who and the what, and I love that about it. It's completely unassuming, and it has a couple of advantages. For instance, it's very easy for me to tell where I stand with people. Because after I meet somebody 4 or 5 or 6 times, and they don't have my name right, my first name right, well, that lets me know where I stand. Particularly useful advantages, especially when it comes to dating. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, my legal name deviates from the who and the what, unlike all the other names that people receive in life. And I love that about it. The who is but the form following the function of what. And what I am is a man in a mask. No way to tell until you meet me. Thank you.